myself adjusted. All right. So we are live again for another Back Porch Talk. My name is Veronica McClendon. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Georgia. And I like to come on here in the mornings and talk to y'all, whoever y'all may be. I like to talk life, some life lessons I'm learning right now. Then I also like to talk about heirs property, which is a big topic for me. And I know a lot of people come to this channel because they're interested in heirs property, mainly because they have inherited it. They're trying to figure out what can they do to actually use their family land, make some use of it, benefit from it, enjoy it again, let it not be so much of a hassle. It actually be something that they can enjoy as a family. And we'll talk more about what heirs property is as we go more into this video. We also talk about estate planning, which is wills, trusts, making sure that everything that you work so hard for over your lifetime goes to the people that you wanted to go to at the end of your life, as well as making sure that you have the people that you want to be responsible for taking care of you if you were to become incapacitated. You want to have somebody who's going to handle your finances, somebody who's going to handle your medical decisions. So we talk about estate planning, how to choose someone that you trust to handle your final affairs or even just your end of life decisions. We talk about probate sometimes, where if someone has died and they own property, particularly real estate like a house or land, but also bank accounts. We have a lot of people who come to us because they have a loved one who had a bank account when they died and they're not able to access the funds, or they had a loved one who maybe had some retirement benefits or some kind of financial investment accounts, other benefits that they can't access because now that person has died and those funds are locked up in over their state can access those funds. So those are the types of things that we talk about on this channel. I've been talking a lot about life these past few days because I've been thinking a lot about life and just how can I live my life more intentionally, more in line with what I actually want to do in my life, more in line with what lights me up on the inside. And for a long time, I thought that doing what you love, doing what you're passionate about, was a luxury, or that it was something that you do when you get all your important stuff done. But now I'm starting to think very differently about that because I believe that that thing that lights you up on the inside, that spark, is actually what God put inside of you to give you direction as to where to go in your life. So I think that too many of us are ignoring that spark. We're dimming that spark. We feel that call, that pull, but we're just like, I don't have time for that today. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. And yes, you always gonna have mouths to feed and bills to pay. But that thing that's inside of you that's calling you, I believe that it actually can be very profitable if you utilize the right tools to make that happen. Because I believe, I believe, Veronica's beliefs, that God has provided everything that we need and will continue to provide everything that we need. And that often the way that that provision comes to us is through us following that thing that is lit up inside of us, that thing that we're passionate about. I would talk about it from my own perspective, and it's so interesting because now I can see it. It's something about the wisdom of people who are a little further ahead in life than you are. But I had this mentor coach. She was my first coach, and she's still very dear to me now. Whenever I see her, she always checks in with me. But Dr. Wanda Johnson, she was a teacher in a class that I was taking. Not really sure what I was going to get out of that class. It was hosted through my church, and I tend to stand out when I'm in classes because I ask a lot of questions and I like to challenge what people say. So someone might say this thing is true, and then I'm like, but why is it true? Have we looked at this other possibility over here? So I'm a questioner, I'm a challenger, but not in a mean way, but just that I don't like people to be able to get away with saying something is true and then walking away with it. It's like sometimes I'm like, hold up, how do you know that's true? So I was that person in the class with Dr. Wanda, and at some point she said, I would like to coach you. And so we worked together for a little bit. She coached me. She was my first coach, like I said. And at one point she was asking me, Veronica, what is your calling? What do you think that you're called to do? What's your purpose in life? And I was like, um, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And she was like, I think you know. And I was like, no, I really don't think that I know what my purpose is. I don't know what my calling is. I like doing different things, but I don't really feel called or pulled to anything. And she was like, I really think you do. And so she had me to do some exercises to help me to think through what I might be called to do, what my purpose might be. And I think I still struggled with it. And there's something about my life. Like, I'm always struggling to see what everybody else is looking at me. They're like, we see it and you don't see it. We don't understand how you can't see it. So I was like struggling with it. And finally she said, Veronica, I think that your purpose is to help people who own land, who've inherited land, to get clear title and ownership and control over their family land. I think that your purpose is to guide people to solutions that they can use to make more use of their family land, to actually enjoy it more. And I thought that was weird because I was like, I thought a purpose would be like, I am called to do something that was not like, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that something that I was so deeply involved in with my work and could speak so passionately about, so excitedly about. I don't know why I thought surely that's not like a purpose. It didn't seem like big enough or real enough at the time. That was way before I even thought about YouTube. Um, and just way before I was doing all the speaking and talking about this that I've been doing, but I just didn't see that as like a real purpose. And it's very weird to think about it now because I do feel like this is my calling. And a lot of y'all have affirmed that in me because people say, Veronica, you explained that so well. Veronica, I'm so grateful for you provide this information. Veronica, you've helped me to solve a problem that I've been dealing with for many years, something that's been stressing me, something that has been part of my purpose. A lot of my clients, they feel that they're called to reclaim their family property and to help their family to kind of lead their family into stewarding their property. There's the times we're in now where there's so much going on with our food resources and just a lot of conflict going on in the world. This is a great time for people to reclaim their land. One, because if it's unattended and not paid attention to, somebody else gonna get it. It's just plain and simple. Somebody else gonna get that land. Another thing is that bugs. I'm outside. What I expect. Another thing is it's just good for us to grow our own food, to eat healthier, and to be more in control of the things that we eat. To be able to make sure that our family and our community is fed. That's important these days. And so with the work that I do, I get to help families to take hold of this resource that they've had in their family for many years, multiple generations, and use it so that it can be a blessing to the family moving forward. Because as you know, a lot, well, you may not know, but as I see being here in the South, a lot of people in the South, um, like for a long time, you had to be connected to your land in order to live. We grew our food on the land and we built our homes on the land and we raised our families on the land. Everything was connected to the land. And then now we're very much disconnected from it in many ways. There are still a lot of farmers out there, a lot of people who are very much connected to the land, but they can go to the grocery store as well and get food if they need it. So they're not super dependent on it for their day to day as a necessity. It's something that a lot of people choose to do, and for good reasons, because sometimes the food we eat ain't really good for us. But it's not something that is as required as it might have been in the past when people grew the food that they ate and they raised the animals that they ate, or they made clothes from, or they made whatever material they used for whatever materials. So back in the day, land was essential, and then it became a point where people could go off and go to college, go to the military, get other jobs, and especially for Black families, because opportunities were very limited to us for a long time. But as time has gone on, there's been more opportunities for people of color to go out and take advantage of these other career opportunities. Land is not Being a farmer is not like one of the few jobs that we have left. Now we have a lot of opportunities. And so, with those opportunities, a lot of people moved away from the land and no longer became dependent on it. But I do believe that a time is coming where people are going to be returning to the land more and more. They're already doing it. People are already returning to the land. There are a lot of people who feel this call within themselves that I must reclaim my family land because my family is going to depend on me having this land. And so I think with that call that a lot of people are feeling, it's tapping into the call that I have to help people um, to utilize their family land, to access, to leverage their ownership, and to really get control over that property. So it's all related, and I know that God is in it, and I just continue to do this work. And so I came on here to talk about something totally different, but I guess I'll just save that topic for another day. Um, but I think it's so important that we listen to that spark within us because we never know how the thing that's speaking to us on the inside is needed so that somebody else who has something calling them on the inside can work with us to be able to we work together and we all help each other to accomplish our purposes. So because there are just not a lot of attorneys who do heirs property work. They're just a lot of people are just like, I don't want to touch it. I'm not getting anywhere near it. And I don't blame them. It's intimidating. It's something I love to do, but I don't know if I would have done it if I didn't love it. Because there's like this one Court of Appeals judge said that there's a lot more easier ways to make money than to do some of the things we do as lawyers. And so this heirs property work, there's a lot more easier ways, even as a lawyer, I think, to make money than to be dealing with decades and even sometimes over a century's worth of title issues with property. It's fun, but it's challenging. It's very challenging. But I feel called to do the work. And so with the call, I will answer. I have answered. And every day things get a little bit more clear. These bugs, they saying it's almost time for me to be done. They tell me it's time to wrap it on up. But every day I get a little more clear on how to better do this work. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I wish that I had done things differently, but like one of my coaches now says, you only can do what you have the capability of doing. Like if you haven't grown to a certain point, you can't do the thing you haven't grown to do yet. And so I'm just here living and growing and just wanting y'all to do the same. So how can we continue to connect and help each other to accomplish the things that we feel led to do? That's kind of the conversation that I felt led to have this morning, even though it was not what was on my plan for in my plan for what I was going to talk about. But thank you. If you got this far in the video, I appreciate you for tuning in and for listening. And I hope that you will join the conversation. Leave a comment below. Um, we have some links down there where you can register for one of our upcoming webinars. We also have a link where you can schedule a consultation. Do that, and I look forward to connecting with you further. Just remember that our consultations are available for people who either have property in Georgia or they live in the state of Georgia and they need to deal with a Georgia estate. Otherwise, we would need to refer you to one of our colleagues that's in another state because we are licensed to practice in the state of Georgia. But thank y'all so much for tuning in this morning. I look forward to talking to y'all again soon. Y'all take care.